Back to another One Piece chapter. You with your boy One Piece Hooch. We here with chapter 1182. Zaza. So very interesting title for this chapter, and it has a translation. Zaza is the Japanese onomatopoeia for heavy rainfall. So guess there's some water in this chapter, clearly. Not what I was thinking when I heard Zaza, but hey, good enough. I'll take it. I'll take it. Um, last when we left off, it was Loki versus Emu. Loki had hit Emu with Thornheim straight on. Uh, but I think we at the end of the chapter we just see Emu like smiling, like yeah, that's really him. Like he was just surprised, like oh that is really him. That's really Nidhogg. That's really Nidhogg. Yeah, that's crazy. So maybe we're gonna get some backstory about what Emu remembers. But let's just jump straight into it. So we have a cover request by Toshika Zoo. Isho savoring a carefully prepared bowl of udon made by a fox and a tanuki. I don't know if it's the way this is drawn, but it like they laughing at him struggle with this udon. But hey, great cover request. Let's get right into the chapter. Emu was hit by Loki's Stornheim, but Loki says, I still feel his presence. Wheeze, wheeze. Um, Ratatoskor says, I'm too big. Oh, Loki says, I'm too big to keep track of him properly. Huff, huff. As Ratatoskor is jumping on Loki's back. Then we go over to pretty much the tree that Emu got thrown into. And here goes Emu again. Nidhogg. Nidhogg. To think thou and I would meet again in this world. So they did meet before. He's met Nidhogg before. Cough, huff, traitor. So were they friends at one point? Because it's kind of weird that you would be friends with somebody you don't remember existing, right? You didn't know about this. You know what? Maybe Emu just didn't realize this was the devil fruit that was hidden on Elbaf. I'm gonna give him some credit. Maybe he just didn't know. So let's continue. We see Loki in his dragon form flying over to Emu. Emu has come off the tree, wings expanded. Cough, cough, still coughing, huff, huff. Better talk. Emu says, snow, of course. Lightning is born from colliding ice. Together thine synergy is exceptional. Ragnar, thou art as I remember thee, waiting all this time for a new master. So Emu clearly fought of the former master and former uh Nidhogg devil fruit eater, pretty much. That's clear as day. He fought the former. How nostalgic. And Rotosko, Ragnar the Hammer, mythical squirrel fruit model, Ratatoskr. Um, Squeak, squeak, and it looks like Ratatoskr literally shoots his own attack. Like he's using his hand. He's using his own attack to create like a cloud. And Loki says, okay, let's do this. Loki charges up, I guess, a blast from like just a regular old. I don't even know what kind of blast he has. A dragon blast. Let's just say dragon. I don't know what type of firepower he's even shooting, to be honest. Ragnar 5 arrows. So they combine. Ratatoskor and Loki combine for an attack that is set towards Emu. Right. Am I tripping? And Emu prepares to fire back another attack. Like he first off, Emu talking in tongues. And then he finishes up with Nova Eclipse, and he sends. Ooh, oh, Oh, we got translation for this. These tongues that I thought he was speaking in. Hiragana is a just and I can't even say it. It's just an Aztec goddess. Kanji is eclipse explosion. Nova eclipse. Okay, so that's I guess it's just Nova eclipse, the attack. Emu creates these Maki demonic like balls that will explode on impact, and he shoots them towards Loki, and Ratato scores. So they're both just firing attacks at each other aimlessly. You can see Loki clearly getting hit in one of his wings, as the explosions pretty much engulf the entire area. So Loki and Emu still just going at it, but we have confirmation. Emu fought the former giant that had the devil fruit and Ragnar the hammer. Fact. Okay, so let's move on. Scary. Bonnie, get back here. My girl Bonnie over here. So Bonnie is watching the fight between Loki and Emu. It's not like I'm going out there to fight, not against that guy anyway. And Lilith says, damn right, it's my job to look after you now. And I won't let that happen. And Lilith says, still, I wonder who he is. He clearly outranks all the knights of God here, but he's not one of the five elders. I suppose it's only natural for a vast 8 century old organization to have spawned some dark shadows given its history of power struggles. If that's the case, and you can see this like this silhouette of the actual Vegapunk and Lilith pretty much trying to think together like who is this person and why don't we have any information on this person? So the deduce perfectly. This person has been hiding for 800 years. Bonnie sees Sanji. Wait, Sanji, your injuries are. Sanji says, I can't back down now, Bonnie Chan. And then we go to a flashback of Killingham over Sanji's body. Sanji, I guess I don't need to deal with you after all. I gotta admit, it's crazy you're even breathing after that. Sanji sees Killingham trying to walk off. Where are you going? Killingham said, I'm going to see through the mission I came here for. Can't you tell my power is overflowing now? Toodles as he dashes off and kicks Loki in no, kicks Sanji in the process, pretty much. Sanji gets up. That prick hasn't given up on kidnapping the children yet. And Sanji takes off. We can't let everyone's efforts be in vain. Usopp and Luffy admire this country, and it's my personal duty to protect Elbaf. Huh? And as Sanji flies off, it's the land of giant beauties. Hey, he gonna shoot his shot. He gonna shoot his shot. Yeah. Sanji, shoot your shot. If Gabon can, you can too. We live vicariously through the old crew. Old Owl Library. We're at the Owl Library that's been frozen over with those two things, those two little discs that Lilith popped out that suck up all the thermal energy. Still frozen. To think that this back door led to an underground passage. This hidden room is unbelievable. You saved the books from the fire and brought them here. Bilbo. So when this first happened, I did suspect that Bilbo did save the books. I didn't think it would be a secret compartment inside of the tree. I didn't even think of it, but it just makes that much sense. Like, oh yeah, go ahead, burn it. It's a place for us to go outside of here. And Bilbo, look, Bilbo got magical powers. Bilbo, look, I knew. Look, you can't take a character away from all the action and think they're not doing anything. No, Oda did that purposely. It's like I'm gonna introduce you to this character. Y'all not gonna really hear much from him, but we're gonna use him to make sure that all the books are safe. So all the books from O'Hara, all the lore that has been stored on Elbaf is still safe. We live another day. We still have time to go through all this information. So this is what we need. This is what we need. So for everybody that's trying to solve all of One Piece, this is what was needed. These books were what was needed. Plain and simple. Um, I suspect Robin is going to learn something from this vast amount of knowledge and be able to guide the crew to their next location somehow, some way. So the books, the safety of the books was very important for me as just a reader, and just to know how important the O'Hara books are to the entire story. So Robin says, "Thank you. I thought they had all been reduced to ashes." Saul says, "Yeah, I'm grateful too, but I'm starting to see you're more of a mystery than I first reckoned, Bilbo." Yes, Bilbo might have been around for quite some time, and I might throw this out there. What if Bilbo was in that egg that was on Roger's ship? This is the first big bird we've seen. What I'm not and by no, I'm not trying to solve the whole story, but it just makes sense. A giant bird, a giant egg, Bilbo, right? Now Bilbo look old as hell. Maybe not. Maybe that's Bilbo's egg. Who knows? But this is the first time we've actually seen a giant bird with consciousness. So I'm just going ahead and just trying to attribute maybe that is that egg from Roger's ship. Maybe not. All right, so let's move on. Near Western Village, Sea Cloud Port, Tree Canopy, Western Village, Rainbow Port entrance. So at the Rainbow Port entrance, heave ho, and you can see somebody kicking a ship. Um, phew, kicking the ship to the sea clouds, and it was God Knight Summers. And he gets on the Dendemushi and says, "Okay, hello there, Summers here. No, wait, make sure that's Super Summers. I found a suitable giant ship. Get the brats over here in the next 5 minutes. Western Village Tavern. Look at the forest. The forest is ablaze because of the fight. It's a war zone out there. Chopper, Dr. Chopper. Chopper has just treated Gerd. It was a clean cut, so this treatment should reattach your fingers, but it'll take a couple months to heal completely. Thank you, Chopper. I feel so useless, though. I'm supposed to be treating everyone myself. Chopper says it can't be helped. Don't beat yourself up about it. Thank you, Dr. Chopper. You saved our moms. Chopper says it's just first aid. Once we're out of this mess, I'll treat them properly. And Rose says, "Oh, Gerd Tasso, is this a dream? My top idol's fingers were severed. I humbly offer my fingers if you need a donor." The Gerd says, "I'm good." And Rose says, "How cold? And yet, even your spite is something I'm grateful for in these trying times." You can see Harden bandaged up on the floor. Some of the children sitting around. It looks like Oimo has been bandaged up. Road has been bandaged up. We don't have any confirmation on Stanson's leg. Did he get his leg cut off? His leg or his arm. He got his leg or his arm cut off. We don't have any confirmation, but he's in this frame. So hopefully he was worked on as well. But let's go continue. Back to Gerd. I have to give it to you though. Risking your life to save your brother, Bajorn. I have newfound respect for you, Rodo. He gasps and damn near passes out. And Gerd tells him, "Don't get too excited, Rodo. You're making your wounds gush blood." And Rodo says, "I'm on a high, Gerd Tasso." And Bajorn is looking at Rodo like, "And I was just starting to look up to you. Dot dot dot." So I am still confirmed, like I'm gonna read Rodo name as Rodo. I understand just going with Road, but I'm gonna just go with Rodo because that's how it's spelled. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Western Village near the ports. Western Village near the port. Zoro's group. Zoro says, "Sorry about this, Goldberg. It'll take too long without a giant's longer strides." Goldberg said, "It's okay. I'm the only member of the new giants who haven't suffered any major wounds in this battle. Besides, this is a crisis. Well, Elbaf, we're lucky to even have you fighting alongside us." Don't sweat it. Our captain's motto is basically my friend's country is my country. And then Goldberg says, no wonder Harjuden, no wonder Harden pledged himself to him. As Zoro holds onto his body, he says, what's with those black flames? They turned into steel bullets and explosives, and those knights we beat seem to have powered up. If we don't wrap this up soon, it's gonna get real ugly." As he flips one of those coins in his hand. Western Village Port. Summers. I've gone and done it now. I've summoned something insane. Killingham, don't tell me. And Killingham replies, "I'm afraid so. I accidentally summoned what I'm most scared of. I just got carried away." With that newfound power given to them by Emu, there's no telling what you could summon up pretty much. Now it might be crazy. Summer says, "You stupid idiot. That thing is terrifying for all of us. Tell me you can control it." Killingham says, "Well, it is a dream demon, so probably." Summer says on the Dennemushi, "Well, what's done is done. Just hurry. We're running out of time. And where's Gunko?" Killingham says, "I saw her on the way here. She looked dead." And Summers goes, "What?" And says, "Well, whatever. The great emu's body isn't meant to be out in this world. That's a fact. But now, our key combat forces and the forces that must be erased are all here, all right here. We must not disappoint the Great One." "We must live up to our expectations, Killingham." Killingham responds, "Of course. Western Village. It's raining cats and dogs all of a sudden. This must be the Zaza. It's the straight water pack. It's raining cats and dogs all of a sudden. What's going on? The water's gonna flood the inside. Don't let the injured get wet." Killingham says, "Go capture those brats." Whoa! Colin, Yilva. Wait, why help? There's something outside. So this water bursts through the front doors of this makeshift hospital bar, who knows, and grabs the children with nothing but water. And it's like a hand, the water is shaped in like the shape of a hand. And you can see people trying to grab them out of the water, but to no avail. And back to Killingham. For those of us born above the clouds, the idea of water falling from the sky, terrifying. We always heard stories, not only about the D-Clan and Nika, but also the monster known as the Rain God, the one who pelts the lower realm with water from overhead. It appears with the rhythm of the rain dance. Help us, the kids. Whoa, Zaza. Now that's frightening. Oh, this panel cold as hell. What I find most scary. Rain God Zaza, Dream Demon. What? What? Yo, Oda just keep throwing gods at us, man. God damn. But this, yo. So I was under the impression that the world was flooded, right? I was under the impression that the world got flooded by the ancient weapons, right? That was the idea, that those ancient weapons flooded the world. Is this Rango Zaza somebody, just something just that was made up to cover up the stories of the ancient weapons, or I don't know. This is nuts. I did not expect this one. I did not expect this one. Okay, let me just continue. That this is amazing that Killingham the power that they were given by Emu is nuts. Killingham says, "I'm bringing them over now. Get ready, Summers." Summers says, "We can set sail whenever." Zoro says, "No good. There's commotion in the village." Oh, Goldberg says, "Should we go back?" Um, Zoro says, no, it'll be fine." As he sees Sanji dashing over, huh? Yeah, Sanji says, huh? Zoro looks at Sanji and say, "Hey, don't screw this up." And Sanji replies, "Right back at you. The race to save Elbaf. Break next week." So I did count out. I did count out the God Knights. I did count them out. I never thought about them getting a power up. I thought they were supposed to be strong enough off Bucks, but I am very impressed by this Rain God Zaza. That is literally just a dream demon, not a real being, so to speak. But with the amount of energy and amount of power that was bestowed onto Killingham, if his power wasn't studied before, this is taking the cake. And to be able to control and manipulate water on this scale is actually quite amazing. Now, I don't know if water, rain has the same effect as water from the sea. I know Luffy hates just being in like tubs and stuff, but I don't know about this. I don't even think Luffy is gonna fight this Rain God Zaza. This is a Sanji fight, and we'll see Zoro up against Summers. I'm suspecting, and see what Summers' new enhanced abilities can do, and what Zoro will do to his new abilities. This has been tremendous in terms of like the matchups. I knew this was going to be the matchup, but at the same time, I didn't think it would get to this level. Just to talk about Rengar Zaza, she got like 4 arms that we can visibly see, like a ring around her head that's not like an awakening, but it's more like a water halo type of thing, which is crazy. A veil hiding her face with the kids in their hand, and I can't wait to see what Zoro and Sanji do to these God Knights in this time frame. So we'll probably be going back and forth between Loki, Emu, Zoro, Summers, Sanji, Killingham. But this is amazing. I did not expect this is something I cannot explain, something I was not ready for. Um was there mention of the Rain God in um Skypiea? Yeah, it was a mention. It was a mention of the God of Rain and Skypiea. Yeah. So there was a mention of yeah, it was clearly a mention of a rain god, and we actually got the rain god. We got the sun god. Um, we're still waiting on confirmations from what Forest, and I know that people keep trying to say that Chop is supposed to be the forest god. Blah 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 blah. I still need to see more. Is that is not confirmed, not whatsoever. I think Chopper's ability to undo Domi Reversi is based off of his pure heart. That's what I think that is. I think it's just based off his pure heart. His pure heart takes away that Domi Reversi because it, the idea that Maki exists in everything, I don't think Maki exists in Chopper at this point. Maybe if he loses the rest of the crew, maybe someone exists in his heart, but I do not think so at the moment. I think Dr. Hero Luke did completely save Chopper's heart. Like he saved Chopper forever. with that cherry blossom bomb. So, but to actually see what the rain god looks like, because we haven't really seen many water powers. That was the one thing that is not in One Piece like that. People with crazy water powers, unless they are fishermen. Unless they are fishermen. So I want to see what Jinbei has to say if he is able to see this rain god. If Jinbei has some type of uh understanding of what this is. Um yeah. There's no trying to break this down further than what it is. Oda gave us the actual image of what the rain god Zaza looked like. Now, I doubt this would ever be a doubtful fruit because you would have to be able to control rain. But hey, I can't put it past nobody at this point. I can't. I can't. So who's to say this isn't Poseidon's secret power outside of commanding the Sea Kings? Who knows? But now I do have questions on whether it was this rain god that flooded the world, or was it the ancient weapons that flooded the world and gave us the current One Piece state that we have now? Um, Great chapter. This chapter was great. This was at jam packed. Loved the fact that the books were saved by Bilbo. I'm calling Bilbo, but the fact that those books were saved, Robin can rest a little bit easier. Saul can rest a little bit easier. Saul probably needs some medical attention. Um, but this was a good that was a good tidbit for us to know that the books are saved. They're saved, so it was okay for maybe Yaru knew about the secret passage and said, "Go ahead, burn it all." But what else we got in this chapter is that Emu and the former owner of the Nidhogg fruit fought. They fought in the past. It's either they fought in the past or they were just on opposites. They ended up on opposite sides after being teammates because Emu says traitor, traitor, not anything traitor. So I wonder if there was a former pact with the Giants back when there was 20 kingdoms. Um, and that would prompt Emu to say traitor, right? That would prompt Emu to say traitor because this was that last time he dealt with Nidhogg was probably the last time they really was on good terms with the Giants, right? So to speak, right? And maybe Emu is going to give some information about what this power is or what it represented in the past. But the biggest plot point of this entire Nidhogg fruit is the fact that we've seen his powers and did not know it was Nidhogg's powers on Punk Hazard. So yeah, Loki has a crew. Loki has a crew. Ragnar knows about this crew. And it's up to Ragnar to probably guide Loki there to get the rest of this crew to face off against Emu again. Um, we don't know who's winning or losing, so to speak. I guess Emo still has like the upper hand, but Loki holding his own. I'm pleasantly surprised Loki holding his own. He did get stabbed through the chest, but it looked like he turned back into his dragon form and was like, "Hey man, it is what it is. We go box. We go box regardless." So love to see it. We don't see Luffy in this chapter, but Luffy coming. Luffy is coming. Once this hits the fan, Luffy is coming. I kind of expect getting close to the God Knights getting defeated. That's when Luffy will enter the fray against Emu and completely show what Summers was hinting at about Emu not supposed to be on this world. Like not supposed to be on what does he say exactly? Yeah, not Killingham. Summer says, well, whatever. The great emu's body isn't meant to be out in this world. It's supposed to be in something, not out, in that flower room, and only in that flower room, right? And the fact that the forces that must be erased are all right here. So the forces that need to be erased is the Sun God and most likely Loki and that Nidhogg fruit, right? I will still say that you would still want to get Blackbeard out the way, but it's just like Emu and everybody else that's Emu, the Gorosei, the God Knights have not given Blackbeard any attention. I don't understand. He's the most. He is. I don't understand why Luffy and Loki hold more weight than somebody who can pretty much do whatever they want on the like. I don't get it. I don't understand why this type of attention is not given to Blackbeard, saying as though they did everything to eradicate the Davy race. He's not given that type of, oh, let's erase him too. Like, I don't get it. I don't get that part. But this has been a great chapter overall. Real, this was dope. I got no. But man, this was fire, bro. This was a great chapter. I was very invested in this. See the rain god. Hey, look, can we actually put that? I did spitball about some things, but could Nami be the next rain god? Who knows? Who knows at this point? I want to know if the doctors, not the doctors, the scientists on Weatheria know about this rain god or have any kind of information on a really massive flood in the past that changed the world. So I got a lot of digging and diving to do, but man, this was a chapter. This is a chapter. I wasn't expecting a new god or the rain god to actually make an entrance through somebody's power, but love to see it. Love to see it. And the other tidbits in this chapter, which are interesting, is Lilith trying to figure out who Emu was. Um, after being the most, one of the most intelligent people on the One Piece, like in the One Piece universe, trying to figure out who this dark figure is or who this person is very intriguing to the Vegapunks in totality. And on top of that, did I miss my point? Hold up. Did I miss what I was? What was it? Oh yeah. What other things scare these celestial dragons? So now we know it does not rain in the Holy Land. It doesn't rain in the Holy Land yet. It's always sunny. So yeah, it makes sense. Rain scares them. How do you designate a spot where there's no rain? That's something to think about. Like, out of everything you can be scared of, this is exactly what Killingham says. The idea of water falling from the sky is terrifying. We've always heard stories not only about the D Clan and Nika, but also the monster known as the Rain God. And the monster known as the Rain God, the one who pelts the lower realm with water from overhead. Uh, I don't know. Because even in the mural, man, like there's nothing clearly depicting a rain god in this mural. So yeah, this is just new across the board. This is just new. And look, I'm here for it. Um, I'm more on board with this than Chopper being the forest god. I think Chopper is just pure heart, and that's how he was able to reverse the Doni reverses. He doesn't have instant powers of healing, as this chapter shows. So that idea is dead. Gerd needs months for her fingers to reattach. So, man, thank y'all for tuning in. This has been great. Great chapter 1182. Please like, subscribe, comment, have a conversation with your boy. But until next time,